Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Monday morning? And oh god, my camera is already gone. No, 1 second, guys. Oh dear. Oh dear. Literally, the camera has been fine all day today, and now it's completely gone. I can't switch over because literally it might give you guys epilepsy if I switch the camera over. I literally just pressed the record button and the camera just decides to start playing up. Oh wait, it's suddenly fixed itself again. Oh my god. Talk about a crazy start. Oh my dear. Oh my days. This camera, guys, is absolutely insane. I don't know what's going on with it. Dear oh dear oh dear. Very, very worrying indeed, guys. Very worrying indeed. I must order a new camera. That has got to be. I've got to order a new camera because, yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's very, very concerning indeed. Apologies, guys. Literally, like, trust me, if you're someone that suffered from photosensitive epilepsy, you might have experienced that from what I was seeing there. So cross fingers, the camera doesn't do that again. But let's hope it doesn't happen again. But good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. This is Reganelite here with another Good Morning Show. For those who are new here, what I normally do is I go roughly about an hour long. We cover today's daily quote. We look at the weather that's happening for the next few days. And we have a look at what's happening in the news. We're going to be looking at a bit of UK and a bit of world news today in this hour. We'll look at a bit of a UK news coverage first, and then we'll have a look at a bit of world news after as well. I'm going to let you guys know a bit later on in the program what's happening with what my plan is regarding if the appeal that I have regarding my demonetization, what we're going to do if the appeal is successful or if the appeal is rejected, and what we're going to do about that as well, guys. So I'm going to let you, because I have a plan for that as well. The camera is off. No, the camera wasn't off. I never switched it over, blah, blah. There, just for reference. The reason I didn't switch over the camera is because the reason I didn't switch over the camera was because it was flashing all over the place. The camera was literally flashing and yeah, not good stuff. So I don't want anyone getting anything happening to anyone as a result of it. So that's what that was about there. Any idea about the Supertansky political social situation? I have no idea. I don't follow Supertansky, so I can't comment on her situation. So I can't comment on her because I don't really necessarily follow her that well. So you'll have to explain to me in the details what's going on with her. Good morning, Viper Scott. Gillian Albertson, good morning. I'm back for another pedal listen. Appreciate that. Ellie, good morning to you. Linda, good morning to you. Scott Hayes, good morning to you. Rosemary there. Hope you had a good weekend too. Blah, blah. Good to see you there as well. Rosemary there as well. David King, good morning to you. Who owns the news? Well, lots of different outlets. Whether you want to take on board what they say or not is entirely up to you. There. Right, let's get on with today's daily quota. Let's do that first and foremost here. We'll make sure it's the right day. It is the right day there. Don't screw up camera. There we go. There is today's one, guys. So you can see it right there from Jim Rohan. Almost Rohan, not Rohan. Rohan there. Learn how to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want. So learn how to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want. That is today's daily quote, guys. I was hoping you knew. It seems you're as blind as us. I don't follow Supertansky, so that's why. Like, maybe I don't follow her live streams and whatnot. I don't know if Graham said anything on his political live stream this morning because I was doing my own work. So there. I have no idea. It's up to Tan to explain things. Again, I don't know what's going on, guys. So again, like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. So you need to tell me what it is because I'm not aware of it. Like, I've got nothing against her. I know people have indifferences about her opinions and whatnot, and that's totally fine, but I don't have no idea what you guys are talking about with regards to Tansky, honestly. So I apologise, but I honestly don't know, guys. So you guys will have to tell me what's going on with her. Graham said nothing Reganelite. Okay, well, yeah. No, if it's something huge, he would have normally said something. He would have normally said something, and I'm sure you guys would have said something there. So, look, I generally mean this. Hope she's okay. I hope she's all right. I hope she's well. And if not, I hope there are friends and family around her that are watching over her. I generally mean that sincerely. Right, let's carry on, guys. Let's look at the weather today and see what's happening with the weather here. This is our big beautiful planet here on Discord. One of my notes just decided to fall off. Let's see how long. Let's see if my screen will start fuzzying up here as well. Here, so it's a big beautiful planet, of course. So it's set at the moment, guys. For those who don't want to know, this is the bbc.co.uk/weather map, in case people want to know. I've set it right now for today at 6 o'clock, sorry. 1800 at 6 o'clock, of course, there, just for reference. If I get a chance later, I'll have a look at it, blah, blah. If I get a chance, I always have a lot of work to do on Mondays. That's why I very rarely make it to Davey's show at 4 o'clock, because I have so much to do on Mondays. No promises I'll look at it today, but I'll try and look at it tomorrow at least there. Here are some of the weather patterns for today. Don't go to Yellowknife, -32, guys. Not good temperatures there, which is kind of normal for them. Anchorage there, -7. Vancouver, -4. San Francisco, 11. Ottawa, -12. And New York, -2 there. Just for reference here, obviously, this has been a snowstorm that has been coming around the US. They've had a big snowstorm over the weekend. And it looks like it's starting to clear up a little bit there, but you can see some of those temperatures there really, really cold there, because that's something that they've been talking about quite a bit over there. You can see from those temperatures there. -16 in Chicago. That's really, really cold there. Very, very cold there for them. I hope they are keeping warm there as well. Denver 2, San Francisco 11, San Diego 18, New Orleans 3. And Miami, of course, getting away with it, as always, with 29 degrees, guys. 29 degrees there. I'll zoom a bit back out here. Mexico City at 20 there. Parts of South America there at 30 to 27, 26, 27 degrees there. Bodega 18. Hope I said that right. Most of South America getting its fair share of tropical rain, as they normally do in that part of the world. Not much rain, unfortunately, on the continent of Africa here. You can see Cape Town 21, Windhoek 25 there. Kingishka 28 there, Lagos 29 there, respectfully. So roughly around about the same temperatures that normally there. Let's go on over to New Zealand here. Auckland 17, Sydney 20, Perth 14, Darwin 27. So parts of Australia not as warm as it's normally been, but Darwin's still very hot at 27 degrees there. Getting bits of rain in certain parts of Australia, we can see there. Philippines 25 degrees, very warm. Colombo there at the bottom there at 26 there. We can see Tokyo and Beijing there, 2 degrees and -5 degrees respectively there. Fair share of snowstorms that they've been having there on the island of Japan. New Delhi at 10 degrees there. Tehran for Riyadh 14 there. Tripoli there on the North African coast at 16 degrees there. Reykjavik in Iceland at 3 degrees there. We'll zoom in just a little bit just to see. Do I normally zoom in this far? Yeah, I normally zoom in. I think this is the amount I normally zoom in here. So Madrid 10 degrees, Lisbon 15 there with some rain and some snowstorms. Looks like mainly rain on the outskirts of the landscape there. Tunis 11, Parmelo 9, Rome 9, and Nice 10. Most of Italy is rain free from the looks of it, most of it. Bern there at 1 degrees there. Very cold, of course, as you would expect. Moving a bit more towards Eastern Europe here, you've got Athens at 14, Istanbul 13 degrees, Tiaria 10 degrees there, Bucharest 7, Chistu 3, Zagreb, Vienna 4 and 4, Prague 2, Warsaw 1, Berlin 0, and Kiev -3. So temperatures are a little bit warmer than they have been the last couple of days there. So a little bit warmer in Eastern Europe in comparison to, I think it was last week, I think it was, when we were looking at the temperatures were very, very cold there. So Moscow -9, Volgograd -20 there as well. You've got this big, long, thick snowstorm coming from Russia into parts of the into Europe as well there. Quite a thick one there. St. Petersburg -12, Oslo -9 there. Zooming a bit more, if we go towards the UK, Paris at 6 and Brussels at 2 degrees here. And we can see here, if I just scroll it back to 12 o'clock here, this is what we have right now at 12 o'clock. Here, this is what we're expecting. And then a bit later on, guys, today, this is what we're going to be forecast, is what the weather is predicting here. So we've got this big rainstorm here. Right now, it's hitting parts of Ireland, Northern Ireland, respectively here. Some dry spell. You're going to be right now. Most of you guys will be getting dry spells, but later on in the day, or pretty much in the evening, some of that storm will start to come in. You can see it seeping into parts of Wales there. Southern and southwest England is going to be experiencing that as well. But a bit more into the evening there, the Highlands there are going to be experiencing plenty of snow, as well as other parts of Scotland there. You can see. Even in parts of northern England and southern Scotland, going to be experiencing some snow there as well. Temperatures, Edinburgh 3 degrees, very cold. Belfast 6, Dublin 7, Manchester 5, Cardiff and London 7 respectively there. But this rainstorm here is still around. Hasn't hit the capital yet, but I imagine it's probably going to hit where I am pretty much overnight here. Okay, yeah, overnight into the next day. You can see here over Tuesday morning here, we can see this massive rainstorm going to be swallowing up pretty much all of Wales, but most of Ireland and parts of southern, southwest and southern, pretty much all of southern England, they're going to be covered in it as well. Parts of the Midlands there, it's also going to be covered in that rainstorm as well. There is still some pockets of snow in parts of northern England there, as well as southern Scotland, in the Midlands and North Scotland and the Highlands there. You can see going to the next day. Temperatures staying not too bad, though. Staying roughly around about the same what they would be into the next day there. You can see if we go into Tuesday morning, that rainstorm is still there. So there's going to be some high winds in parts, depending on where you are in parts of the UK. So just be careful of that. Edinburgh 3, Belfast 5, Dublin 8, Manchester 5, Cardiff 8, London 7 respectively there. So, yeah, it looks like it's not going to be clearing up just yet. Rain and snow expected across pretty much most of the UK, pretty much from the end of today to tomorrow, guys. So, if you're not expecting, so pretty much plan tomorrow for a wet day, a wet and windy day, depending on where you are. Certain parts, maybe you're getting some snow here. But Tuesday afternoon, late afternoon, it looks like temperatures going to be increasing a little bit. Not too much change up in Scotland from the looks of it, but Belfast, Dublin 7, 8, Cardiff 9, London 10, Manchester 8. So a bit of an increase in temperatures there. But they are dipping back down again, looks like it here. Not as cold, I think, as the night before. If I just scroll over, yeah, 777s. Roughly around about the same temperatures, really, I would say, from Tuesday, tomorrow night into the next day there. But we can see if we go into late Tuesday evening there, that snow in the Highlands there and parts is still there. There is still plenty of rainstorms there up in the northern parts of Scotland there. Parts of southern England and parts of where Wales also could be experiencing those showers. Still plenty of shower heads around Northern Ireland there, we can see. Going into Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, though, we got temperatures at 4, 5, 6, 5, and 4 degrees respectively there. Cold temperatures, not as cold as other times we've had during the winter period here, but still warm, still cold nonetheless. So please make sure you wrap up warm as always. But going into Wednesday morning here, it looks like we're going to have a dry spell in most parts of the UK here from the looks of it here. Temperatures are going to be going to be a bit cold, but Wednesday lunchtime here 9, 8, 7, bit more warmer, but most of it you'll probably get some dry clouds, maybe tiny sprinkles of shower, but most of the UK as a whole, it's going to be dry here on the Wednesday. Looks good. Yeah, maybe some of it on Wednesday morning, but it looks like it's going to clear up. Maybe some on late Wednesday evening. Might get a bit down in the southeast there. But overall, it looks like we're going to have a bit of a dry spell, which is pretty nice there. Yeah, we always like our dry spells. And I can see there's this big, thick snowstorm coming across on the northern France. Is that actually going to hit us? Good question. Let's have a quick look at Thursday there. No, it looks like it's going to dissipate before it hits us. Just curious there. Overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we'll have a look at Thursday and then we'll have a look at the news, guys. 4, 3, 6, and 7 degrees there. So chilly temperatures again. But Thursday lunchtime, those temperatures increase a little bit back up. Not too much change. But again, it looks like they're forecasting, again, mainly dry spells. And they are forecasting a bit of a snow patterns up in the Highlands in Scotland there. But other parts of Scotland may be experiencing some snow there as well. But overall, it looks like, yeah, Wednesday and Thursday, we could get some dry spells, guys. And then we'll get some rain and showers on Friday there. So that's something good to look forward to on Wednesday and Thursday. A bit of a dry period, guys. I think that's pretty good there. So that's very good to see there at least. So yeah, next couple of days, temperature staying roughly around about the same. Nothing that we haven't already expected, but it could get a little bit warmer or a little bit colder depending on where you are. But yeah, tonight, pretty much later on today, overnight, tomorrow, we're going to get massive amounts of rain or snow. Doesn't matter where you are in the UK, you're going to get it one way or another. So just be prepared for it tonight and tomorrow. If you're planning traveling to work, whatever your plans are tomorrow, do take caution. Just be prepared that you could be traveling in piss poor rain, maybe some high winds depending on where you're located. So just be prepared for that tomorrow, guys, whatever time you leave the house. Or maybe if you're planning to stay cooped up in the house tomorrow, maybe get whatever bits you need to get today so you don't have to worry about the rain tomorrow, as a suggestion as well. Right, so we'll have a look at some of the news here today. Let me just switch over here. Billy Kershaw, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. And anybody else who's looking in chat. Ellie, good to see you there if I didn't say hello. Wrong size map in the north. It's too big, says David King. Well, I'm sure you can file your complaint to the BBC and they'll definitely take it up. It's one of the, like, don't get me wrong, like, it's not going to be 100% accurate, the geography, to be fair. But I think it's, you know, I haven't had anyone say to me that this map, that the weather patterns that I've been sharing off it are wrong or misleading in any way. I haven't had anyone say that. But if somebody does, you know, then and then I'll take that on board if I ever use it in the future. So appreciate the comments nonetheless. As always, The Guardian is promoting private health medical insurance there at the top because The Guardian's got nothing better to do with their lives. So the main story in the UK, obviously everyone's been talking about it. I put up a short video this morning just to get out there for people as well. Keir Starmer defends blocking Andy Burnham from standing in the by-election there. The PM says holding a mayoral election in Manchester would divert resources from local councils, Scottish and Welsh campaign for Labour here. So the NEC, as the National Executive Committee, made, including Keir Starmer, they've made the difficult decision to not allow Andy Burnham to stand as an MP in the upcoming by-election. Their site, as they said, they're citing their reasoning. Okay, before I get into it, guys, like they're citing their side of the story is like it costs a lot of taxpayer money, to do another mayoral election. It's going to be very cost a lot of money. It'll take a lot of time, and we just don't have the resources for that. Well, we would like to use those resources for, i.e., cost of living crisis and whatnot. That's the kind of the painting that they're trying to picture to you guys. What the real story is that the Labour government are scared. They're terrified, and they know that Andy Burnham, who is not one of them, who is not part of their exclusive club establishment, because he's on the outside. He's like, I wouldn't say he's Jeremy Corbyn, but he's definitely someone who is popular within the Labour Party. He is somebody that actually does respond to the needs of the public. Is he perfect? No, he's definitely not perfect. Neither is Zach Polanski. But he's definitely far more left than some of the other people in the Labour hierarchy. He will be a threat to West Streeting, which obviously a lot of the big corporations and companies and think tanks and whatnot who have investment in the Labour Party, they will not want Andy Burnham, who is an outsider, because that's what he is. He's an outsider to them. They do not want him anywhere near the clingings of power. And this is their way of them basically saying, no, we want to hold our power, we want to hold control over the Labour government and the policies that they make, and therefore we cannot allow this man anywhere near Parliament. And this is why they have done this. What they're kind of doing is they're kind of hoping that Andy Burnham, they would prefer him to stand down and then kind of kick him to the curb if possible. I think something along those lines there. I think Keir Starmer is too chicken shit, personally, to face any kind of challenge. I mean, he will just keep saying we've got a job to do, getting on with the job, blah, 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 that kind of thing here. The reality is that Andy Burnham would be a much better Prime Minister than Keir Starmer. I think he would do a much better job at leading Labour than Keir Starmer. Would Andy Burnham be better than West Streeting? Absolutely, because as far as I'm aware, Andy Burnham is not taking money from private health companies, unlike West Streeting. So when people make the comparison between who would be worse, Andy Burnham or West Streeting, well, considering West Streeting's and the donations that he takes in, yeah, I think I know who I'd rather pick here. So yeah, Keir Starmer's just basically a coward, essentially here. But it's fine, they're going to get slaughtered at the local elections. That's going to happen. He's trying to help a sinking ship here. That's what he's trying to do here. So Burnham barred from by-election to help Labour focus, to Scotland's secretary. Yeah, so he huge mistake. Labour in turmoil as Burnham blocked by by-election race. Yeah, so a lot of people within the Labour Party are not happy with it, and it's not. And the argument from people who are defending this, I'm not saying this in the point of positioning of challenging for Keir Starmer's leadership, which most of us on the outside see it as that. He's actually someone that could actually help shore up a lot of voters, but in particular from the younger voters, those who are those who are moving away from the Labour Party into the Green Party. A lot of youngsters obviously are turning away from Labour to the Greens because the Greens policies are very, very good. And Andy Burnham is very good at. It does have a lot of youngsters who like him, and I actually think that if Andy Burnham he actually became an MP and actually challenged, he could actually swing a lot of young Green voters back into the Labour fold. I generally think he would be able to do that, but he's not been allowed in. So they want to maintain their power. Let them maintain their power. That means let them crash and burn by themselves. But it means that Andy Burnham, whatever happens when Keir Starmer does get the boot, everyone can say, well, we saw this coming. So. The UK is among 10 countries to build 100 gigawatts of wind power grind in the North Sea. The Energy Secretary Ed Miliband said clean energy projects is part of efforts to leave the fossil fuel roller coaster. The UK and 9 other European countries have agreed to build an offshore wind power grid in the North Sea in a landmark pact to turn the aging oil bastion into a clean energy reservoir. And countries will build wind farms at seas that directly connect to multiple nations through high voltage subsea cables, and the plans are expected to provide 100 gigawatts of offshore wind power, or enough electricity capacity to power 143 million homes. That sounds good. The commitment will be set out in the Hamburg Declaration, expected to be signed today by energy ministers from the UK, Belgium, Denmark, France, Germany, Iceland, Ireland, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Norway. The Energy Secretary Ed Miliband said the UK was standing up for our national interest by pushing for clean energy and getting off the fossil fuel roller coaster. This is fantastic news. The new deal in the North Sea could help attract €1 trillion, that's £867 billion, in offshore wind investment by 2040, according to Wind Europe, an industry body. The pact comes less than a week after US President Donald Trump criticised the UK's plans to phase out production of North Sea oil and gas and complained about Europeans' wind power. Well, honestly, I don't give a shit what he thinks. The latest agreement reaffirms Europe's commitment to wind power after North Sea countries promised 3 years ago to build 300 gigawatts of offshore wind in the area by 2050. The new offshore wind power grid will contribute to this target. Miliband is also expected to sign a statement of intent with Germany, Belgium, Denmark and Netherlands to open up cross-border offshore electricity projects with a focus on joint planning and cost sharing. Energy UK, the sector's trade association in the UK, said it fully backed the landmark efforts to transform the North Sea into a truly regional clean power hub. This all sounds good on paper. Whether this will actually lead to a reduction in energy cost, I hope so. And we know that Keir Starmer is reducing plans to reduce energy bills. They've got plans ahead to reduce our energy bills this year, which is also a welcome sign. But if this in the long term reduces energy bills, I'm all for it, and especially our reliance on. We need to stop relying on fossil fuels anyway. Whether it's actually enough again, whether solar and wind is enough power for us remains to be seen right now. Last year, wind and solar overtook fossil fuels in the EU's power generation, generating 30% of the bloc's electricity. In the UK, the government this month handed out record subsidy contracts for offshore wind projects and a boost for its goal of creation of clean energy systems by 2030. I hope so. Obviously, all this sounds great, but again, my big concern is what's going to happen when we get a reform government or a joint reform conservative coalition government in power at the next general election, which is what we have looking like is going to be happening. The question is, how are our green energy projects going to be affected if we get a government like that? That's my big concern there. Thousands march in Crowborough over asylum plans for former military camp. See, these are the same people, right, who said they didn't want them in hotels, right? They didn't want them in hotels. Okay, so we move them out of the hotels and we put them in the military camps now. Now they're saying they don't want them in the military camps. Well, where do you want them? Oh, we want them in concentration camps. Okay, well, where do the concentration camps go? Well, not in my backyard. Not in my town. Not in my area. Like, I don't care where they are. Just nowhere near me. You just can't win with these people. And what's even more quite sad is that while there were a lot of people, local people who took part in, there were people from locally who took part in this. What tends to happen is that lots of people from different parts of England end up turning up here. They literally travel from different parts of the country to come and take part in these protests. And it's like, you people all you do is moan, but you don't offer solutions. They moan, but they don't offer a solution. Like, what is your solution? And their argument is deport them all, deport them all. Well, some of them are being deported. They're all being processed. They're being processed as fast as they possibly can. That's what the Home Office are doing. Can they do faster? Of course they can. They are being processed. You didn't want them in hotels. Well, now they're going in military camps. Now you don't want them in military camps. Make up your goddamn mind where you want them. And you can't keep saying out, not in my backyard, because they've got to go somewhere. These people have to go somewhere. And that's the thing. I challenge these people. Give me an answer that doesn't involve you just turning around and saying, not in my backyard, or not in my country. Give us a solution. Where would you put them? If you don't want them in hotels, you don't want them in military camps, where do you want them then? Because they got to go somewhere. Because you don't want them on the streets, walking around homeless people on the streets, do you? Would you rather have them somewhere where they're actually safe and secure? Like I personally would. They don't have an answer. These people, for all their bluster and moaning, they don't have an answer to this situation. All they're doing is moaning. Moan, but don't offer answers. Savage Javid calls on Nigel Farage to apologise for alleged schoolboy racism. Well, that's okay. It's not going to. We already know that. Reform will not do that. They will just abandon it. Yeah, a reform will just move the goal. Yeah, reform will when the policy is not favourable to reform, they'll move the goalpost to favour them. They'll just move wherever the wind blows. If a fart goes west, they'll go west. If a fart blows east, they'll blow east. I'm a part of this country when Windrush man left homeless by Home Office in action. Ryanair said it could use Starlink in the future despite Elon Musk's feud. UK maker of AI avatars nearly doubles valuation to $4 billion after funding row. Symphofilia marks digital presentation for clients to use in corporate videos and counts 70% of FTSE 100 as customers. A British AI startup is making that makes realistic video avatars almost double its valuation to £4 billion, $3 billion, in a boost to the UK's technology sector. They were valued at $2.1 billion last year and moved into new offices in central London, marking the moment. Celebrity attended by Sadiq Khan, the city's mayor, and the Peter Carl's technology secretary. On Monday, it announced that its latest funding round, led by an existing investor, Google Ventures, have raised $200 million and valued the British company at $4 billion. It's a British company. Google Ventures, in search of firm arms capital, uses human actors. They use human actors to generate digital avatars of people and also offer employees the ability to create replicas of their staff. Those avatars are then deployed by organizations in corporate videos in a range of scenarios such as health and safety in the workplace, advertisement on cybersecurity, and how to communicate better at work. This sounds a lot more sensible than other AI companies, let me put it that way. The company counts as 70% of the FTSE 100 as clients, including NatWest, Lloyds Banks, and British Gas. It's also used by non-corporate bodies, including the NHS, the European Commission, and the United Nations. The startup is also developing new avatars that would help train employees and give them new skills through scenarios such as role-playing and giving them tailored explanations. My only thing is, at least it's a British company. At least it's a British company. But how British is it? I don't know. I don't know enough about them to say whether or not they're okay or not. I mean, AI is coming up whether we like it or not. It's hitting UK harder than any other big economy study finds. Disposable income in 11 towns and cities have risen twice as fast as the rest of UK. BBC faces profound jeopardy without funding overhaul, Tim Davie has said there as well. So those are some of the stories from The Guardian there. Let's have a look at Sky News and see what they're saying. Where's Sky News? And then I'll let you guys know what the plan is with channel for this week in a moment. Starmer defends blocking Burnham, not necessary as bid to return as MP. Analysis piece from Sky News. Any survivor hopes for PM meant shutting Burnham out. The Starmer and his team can't predict what comes next. Home Secretary to announce new police overhaul with new 909 response targets. Schools should be phone free all day, the Education Secretary tells teachers. I agree, they should be phone free all day. Time will tell if policing shake-up will leave people feeling better protected. There. Let's have a look at the front of UK here. Met Office named storm forecast to bring snow, winds and heavy rain to the UK. That's the storm that I told you guys that's coming. That's already in parts of the UK already, and it's going to be coming over tonight. So just be ready for that. That same analysis piece. Teenager arrested on suspicion of murdering after missing man found dead in Plymouth. Body found on beach, thought to be the man who went missing at Christmas Day swim. Any other stories here? British FBI to fight serious crime and help local police tackle everyday offences. British FBI? What's British FBI? New British FBI to fight serious crime and help local police tackle everyday offences. The National Police Service will be responding to rolling out tech to all local forces, including facial recognition. A British FBI will be created to fight the most serious and help local police forces take... That sounds very American. I don't like it. The NPS will establish in England and Wales to tackle crimes such as terrorism, fraud and organised crimes that are not constrained by areas, the Home Secretary had announced on Sunday. She said the NPS will attract world-class talent and the state-of-the-art technology through a start date that has not been revealed. The NPS will be in charge of purchasing new tech and equipment for all forces, which will include nationwide rollout facial recognition tech, which has seen London's Metropolitan Police arrest more than 1,700 suspects in 2 years. Also bring the NCA counter-terrorism, policing, regional organised crime units, police helicopters and national road units under a single organisation. Currently, different forces are responsible for those sections of national policing. National Police Commissioner will be appointed to lead the NPS, making them the most senior police officers in the country. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm very, very concerned. That has me a bit concerned. I'm not liking that at all. I just don't trust this Labour government right now with the changes that they're making and putting everything under one banner and whatnot. I'm worried that it's going to take away from the work that some of these forces do, some of the forces in these areas do, in my view. Just before we get to the BBC, guys, just to let you know, so this week I will find out at some point, I don't know when, what the response from YouTube/Google is with response to my appeal regards to my demonetization issue. So I just want to let you guys know what the plan is, right? So if the appeal is successful and I get reinstated, obviously I will let you guys know as soon as possible. And obviously I will make sure the membership I want it to be the same as it was before, and you guys will be able to continue to support me that way, of course, which will be fantastic, and I can continue to earn through YouTube. However, of course, if the appeal gets rejected, I will still obviously continue to pursue it. However, in that meantime, from next week, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to set up a membership feed on Buy Me a Coffee. And it looks like I can set it at the same amount that I did for YouTube membership, which was $1.99, which is what I intend to do if I can do that. So what I will be doing is setting up a membership for that if the appeal is rejected, and while I still obviously continue to fight that. So if you guys actually want to just join a membership that you can support me for once a month, obviously that will be easier for you guys, rather than that would be obviously something we could do. What I will do as well is this list down below. Obviously everyone who's a Patreon supporter will remain on there. However, every person who joins up on the membership will also be appearing on there as well. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to branch out this this list, this scroll bar here that we have, I'm going to apply it to every single live stream that I do. So every single person who joins the membership, the Buy Me a Coffee membership, your names will appear across all live streams, so people know that you guys are the ones who are supporting me in the membership portal. Unfortunately, I can't give you like extra perks or anything here on YouTube, but it is something that I can set up. So if you guys want to continue to support me in a financial manner once a month, or at least, you know, it can make a big difference here. But obviously, in the meantime, if you guys want to, you can still buy me a coffee. The link is in the description, of course, and your name will still get added to this list regardless. And the same for those who join the Patreon as well. Again, your name will be added to the list if you do choose to support me as well, guys. So I appreciate everybody's feedback on that, but I just wanted people to know that as well. One other thing as well this week. So in terms of live streams, I will try and post today if possible. But we have a live stream tonight at 8 o'clock called The Viewpoint. We have Global News tomorrow at 4 o'clock, if you can join me for that as well. We also have on Wednesday, we have Prime Minister's Questions as well as the usual Good Morning Show. And then we have Reganelite's Watch Along at 8 o'clock. Thursday night will be the first non-political live stream. We're going to be talking about films, movies, and whatnot. I'm going to talk about some of my shared experiences about films and whatnot, and you guys can share yours with me on Thursday night. We're not talking politics Thursday night, guys. We're going to be talking about films, we're going to talk about movies, we're going to talk about actors, all that kind of stuff, guys. Join me for that if you guys are into that kind of stuff. You can turn off your political hats Thursday night at 8 o'clock, guys. We'll see how the show goes as well. And then Monday to Friday, of course, it will be the usual Good Morning shows there for reference. So I just wanted to let you guys know that there. Indy Scott Bryan, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Right, so just get that off my chest and let you guys know what's the plans. Let's carry on here. So just have a look at the BBC here. I have recorded short videos for the next 2 days on this here on YouTube, guys. They'll be out in the next 2 days, of course. And I will be recording Patreon and Rumble for the next 4 days. They'll be recorded today, just for reference as well, guys. Most of the stories here seem to be the same that ones we've already seen about Andy Burnham. Police are set to be given 15-minute response targets for some 999 calls. Tory pair aim to attract politically homeless. With a new movement, apparently. Ed Davies said war bonds would help speed up UK defence spending. There, he stated. I joined the Tories for the partying. Says Kevin Baconot. What, you mean the partying like they did during the pandemic, while everyone else died? Just saying. Trump says UK soldiers in Afghanistan among the greatest of all warriors. Yeah, quite a bit of backtracking from Donald Trump there, wasn't it? He praised UK soldiers. Didn't say anything about any other countries, just for reference. Prince Harry says sacrifices to NATO troops in Afghanistan deserve respect after Trump's comments. And look, for whatever you think about Prince Harry, this guy actually took part in Afghanistan as a British soldier. Like, so, you know, he was actually there, you know. Excuse me, police officers to be told they must get a work license or face dismissal. There, excuse me. 250 councillors could serve 7-year terms after election delays there as well. So that's some of the stories under politics. Let's just check the front here. Low pay and boredom led me to getting a second job, says guy in London. Boredom. Well, you got to. Everyone's situation is different. I mean, everyone is different. Like, if you got bored, well, find things to do. If you don't have things, you know, there's always something new you can do. You know, like I say, everyone's different. There's just one person's experience there. Thousands of children face catastrophic waits for NHS community care there. Yeah, so you don't get told enough about some of these really catastrophic stories there. And all those stories there are very old from the BBC there. Thursday night sounds fun. I think we all need a break from politics, to be honest. Yeah, it's one that I thought about. Like, I used to a long time ago on Discord. I used to do once a month movie night. I would host a movie on Discord from YouTube for everyone to watch. That's what I used to do a long time ago, but I stopped doing it. Because the choices of films were not. They weren't very great choices of films because you had to pick off YouTube. But yeah, I used to do that as well a long time ago. But I won't be like hosting any films or anything like that. We'll just be talking about it. I'm not gonna be hosting anything for reference, guys. Right, let's have a look at some news outside the UK, guys. So obviously, you guys may have seen the short video. I talked about it as well. I'm sure you guys heard the news. Obviously, the second deadly shooting in Minneapolis, and another innocent person has been murdered. There's no question about. There's no debating it. The video footage is there to see. I have seen all footage of it now from different angles. It's undisputed. The ICE officers shot and murdered an innocent person. His gun that he did have on him, which he legally was allowed to have, was on his sidearm. He never had it in his hands at any point. He had a phone in his hands. He never pulled the gun out to use against ICE officers, from the looks of it, and the ICE officers attempted to stitch it up as if he tried to pull a weapon on them, which is absolutely not what happened in any way, shape, or form. And the Democrats have been shit when it comes to their responses and how they are handling this. I agree with Vosh, who said that they should call the National Guard in because the National Guard could actually might be able to stop some of the murders from taking place. Because if you have National Guard around with ICE, they can make sure they didn't do anything fucking stupid like they did here. Because for me, like, as much as I hate all this, I don't want people dying. I just don't want people dying first and foremost. And we're talking about innocent people here, regardless of whether somebody should or shouldn't be in the country. You know, there's no justification for killing somebody who is not a threat to you. You know, Renee Good was not a threat. This person was not a threat. They were not a threat to ICE in any way, shape, or form. They were protesting, they were making their voices heard, but they weren't a threat to them. And the video evidence is very clear, and eyewitnesses there are very clear. But the government, the U.S. government, and its compadres in the media want you to believe that these were all nasty, terrible people, without providing you with any facts or information about what actually happened on both those days. And hearing the head of Legal Eagle breaking literally in tears talking about this, and this is someone who deals with loyal experts. I was listening to his video about it, and it was quite brutal to see him his reaction to it, you know, because he's someone, you know, who's used to all sorts of cases in all walks of life, but seeing him getting really emotional about it, you know, really opens up more eyes there. Because Legal Eagle tries not to be bipartisan. They try to be, you know, down the center, but it's hard for them when you see stuff like that. Trump unbowed by backlash to Minneapolis shootings and blames Democrats for the chaos. It's not Democrats' fault. However, I do say the Democrats' responses to this all have been shit. That's one thing for sure. Democrats vow to oppose Homeland Security funds after Minnesota shooting at shutdown risk grows. The government will make sure ICE gets all the funding they need. They don't care what the Democrats do. They should not get more funding. Of course not. They should be I've heard, this is the most insane thing I've heard. There are some Democrats who are advocating more funding for ICE because they're training this crap. And it's like, how fucking stupid are you? Their budget is bigger than some countries' GDPs, for crying out loud. Where do you think all that money is going? It's not going towards training. 7 people killed so far, I believe, says Rosemary. Well, Trump called a state of emergency. Well, he can impose the Insurrection Act, but it won't change the situation. He left the US for an internship. Trump's travel ban made it impossible for a return. Private jet with 8 onboard casualties takes on takeoff in Marine, FFA says. It crashes. Oh my God. 8 people on board. A private aircraft carrying 8 people crashed on a takeoff Sunday night at Marine Airport. The Boeing tank challenge 6 hours. There was no immediate word on the conditions those aboard. The crash occurred as New England much as gripped with the massive winter storm. Why did they get on a... When did it? On Sunday night. Should not be flying. There should not be any planes taking off during the weekend. They should not have been doing any flying whatsoever. Who the hell authorized that? That was too dangerous. Stupid, stupid, stupid. There's a reason why flights were grounded over the weekend. Because of the snowstorm. Bloody hell. A man is under arrest for allegedly assaulting US Republican Max Frostwell at the Sundance Film Festival. How a purge of China's military leadership could impact the army and future of Taiwan. Northeast gets the last brunt of winter storm that brought ice, snow and cold much to the US. More than 11,400 flights and cancelled on Sunday. Yeah. Like, whoever approved this flight here, like, someone deserves to be fired for this. They should never... Just because they've got loads of money doesn't mean they should be able to... loads of money and a confident pilot doesn't mean that they're going to be fine. It's not worth the risk is not worth it. Trump says the US used secret weapons to disable Venezuelan equipment in Morado raid, apparently. Yeah, I've seen this story. US security agreement for Ukraine is 100% ready to be signed, Zelensky says. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, on whether it gets signed here. But it's positive. So Zelensky has said on Sunday that the US security guarantee document for Ukraine is 100% ready. After 2 days of talks involving representatives from the Ukraine, the US and Russia. Yeah, they did speak to Russian representatives. So it actually went ahead, the meeting. I actually thought Russia were going to pull out. But they had, the talks were constructive from what I've heard. But nothing concrete. Obviously, the big dispute between Russia and Ukraine in regards to any kind of ceasefire or any kind of stopping or whatever is obviously the territorial issue, because Russia wants territory that they have no right to. Ukraine wants them to back off and basically stop firing their guns and stop killing their civilians, which again Russia doesn't care. So yeah, obviously a security guarantee, it is a document, but again, like, how trustworthy is it with this Trump administration? I don't know. But I hope it is actually something that they will keep their word to. But this is the Trump administration we're talking about here. Who was on the private jet? Who was on the private jet? Does it say? I don't know if it says. Doesn't say. Does it say that people died? Crashed. Undergone snowfall in many other parts of the country. Described the incident. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say. Doesn't say. It doesn't actually even say if they survived or not as well. So that's a bit piss poor reporting from the Associated Press. You're not even saying. Didn't even say whether they survived or not. I'm assuming they did. I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. It says crashes. Crashes on takeoff in Marine. So it didn't actually take. Okay, so I'm assuming they survived then. So maybe they tried to take off and it failed, and they crashed while trying to take off. Is what looks like it happened. Ice build up on the rings. I heard rumors of that's what's happened. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. So it looks like they crashed, and obviously, luckily, regardless of whoever was on it, nobody got killed from the looks of it. It's my assumption there. Hundreds rescued from deadly ferry disaster in the Philippines. Yemen rebels threaten new Red Sea attack as US aircraft carrier heads towards Iran. Yeah, I'm just wondering what's going to happen when that aircraft carrier gets in position in the Middle East. What they're going to do. US Border Patrol's agent fatally shoots a man. Yeah, we're not going to watch the footage. I'm not going to put you guys through that. Zoran Mondani, by the way, has actually been out in New York, actually clearing snow for cars, guys. There's footage of him literally out and about with teams helping people clear the snow. Oh, I've gone out there. Literally gone out there clearing the snow. He's actually been out there clearing the snow himself there, and he had some great promotional videos reminding people and all that, being careful and whatnot. Hello there, Crusher87. Hope you're doing well. Let's have a look what Al Jazeera is saying here. Yellow line, the de facto Israeli buffer zone shaping life in Gaza. They're pushing that yellow line. It's not a real line. They just keep changing it. They're just moving the goalpost all the time. Investigation reveals Israeli campaign into flattening Gaza town at Beit Haron. Born after the Arab Spring, 37 million Egyptians have no memory of 2011. Are they being taught what happened in 2011, though? President Xi says India, China's friends, partners admit to Trump's trade war. Yep. Why trade with the US when you can't trust them? Trade with them. That's good for India. Good for China. Main story on the live feed here: Palestinians are skeptical over Israelis' reopening of Gaza's Rafah crossing. Are they finally opening the Rafah crossing? Hamas's military wing has given all the details to truce mediators on the possible location of the last captive bodies to be returned to Israel under US brokered ceasefire. Israeli forces have ordered various Palestinians to evacuate a number of buildings, including schools and kindergartens, in the town of Qadr Abdi in the occupied West Bank amid a major military raid. Why do you need to do a military raid? On what grounds? What grounds do you need to do a military raid? There's supposed to be a ceasefire. What are you doing? There's supposed to be a ceasefire. On what grounds do you need to be doing a military raid here? Israeli forces demolish water wells, livestock pens out of Hebron. Footage circulating online has showed the Israeli army demolition of homes and agricultural facilities in the village of Kirbit al-Darak, the Yakka Desert, south of Hebron. Video shows military bulldozers in the occupied West Bank plowing over Palestinian property. The attacks are part of a continuous demolition policy targeting civilian homes and facilities, increasing the residents' suffering and threatening their living stability. Yeah, once again, more innocent people's lives being destroyed and torn apart in the West Bank. And once again, where are the international bodies? Nowhere to be seen, as always, guys. Those are analysis pieces. Shelling and gunfire continue around the clock. Just meters from the yellow painted concrete blocks mark the Israeli army's latest redeployment lines in eastern Gaza City. A displaced Palestinian father of 4 shelters, families in a small tent. Infographic: Israel attacks on Gaza on 92 ceasefire days, killing more than 100 Palestinian children. Israel has attacked Gaza on 92 of the 108 days of the ceasefire that took place on October the 10th. These attacks have killed more than 100 Palestinian children, including at least 60 boys and 40 girls, according to UNICEF. Since the day of the ceasefire. So they've had 5 days in November, where they've had 5 days in November, 5 days in October, 4 days in December, only 1 day in January. And that was the 23rd. Israel frames Rafah opening as a Trump administration concession. The Israeli government is marketing the opening of Rafah as a concession to the Trump administration, even though the Gaza ceasefire agreement stated the crossing must be open and it wasn't tied to the return of all the captives. Israel's put its foot down and said that's not going to happen. Even now, at the possible location of the last identified body, it is saying that it will reopen with heavy restrictions and without pre-screening by Israeli authorities. Nobody's going to be able to enter or leave Gaza. As for entry of aid through Rafah, American officials have visited and allegedly applied pressure on Israel, but has yet yielded any results. But the Trump administration needs a win, and Rafah would be just that. Yeah, whether they will or not is another thing. Hi, Mikey. How you doing? Good to see you there. Oh, I will respond to your email at some point today. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Onions, says Billy Kershaw. Onions, yes. Yeah, do check out the Bing podcast, guys. Do check out the Bing podcast. They do great stuff, guys. Do great stuff. Great stuff on America. The number of people killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza raises 71,000 killed. Got about 6 minutes left here, guys. Let's see what else they've got here. Ferry carrying 3,500 people sinks in the Philippines, killing at least 18 people. Trump administration MAGA ally spread of misinformation on Pretty's killing. Of course they are. And it's right-wing media obviously painting a different picture to what's actually happening. Waiting to die, hunger, devastation in Tigray a year after US aid cuts. If you sleep, settlers will burn your house for you in the West Bank as well. Minnesota's Governor Walz demands Trump remove border agents after nurse killed. Yeah, well, you know, it's just words at the end of the day. Winter storm leaves over 1 million people without power across the US. Yep, we touched on that a bit earlier on already. Let's see what else here. Let's have a look at the New York Times and see what they're saying here, what stories they've got here. Trump officials blame shooting victim, backlash grows. How the Trump administration rushed to judgment in the Minneapolis shooting. Killing prompts only a defiant response from Trump. Demands for investigations grows as video contradicts federal officials' accounts. Well, they don't care. They're gonna paint their own picture. We know that there. False posts and alternate images distort views of Minnesota shooting. Yeah, of course they do that. Denounce sickening. Yeah, Alex Patel's his friends and family denounce sickening lies about him. Yeah, they've made up stories about him. In Xi's China, even the mightiest general can fall. A combat veteran was once seen as the most trusted man in Xi Jinping's military. Now he's the most public example of disloyalty to Mr. Xi. Wow. Brutal. No matter how loyal you are. As Europe's reliance on US national gas grows, so does Trump's leverage. For Greenland's tourism, Trump's increases creates uncertainty there. Humans possess one thing that AI does not, judgment. That's true. Trump administration now thinks clean air is worthless. Trump administration is lying to our faces. Congress must act. Yeah, but Congress going to do anything? Congress really going to do anything? Have to wait and see. Taliban said they're ready to release US prisoners, but which ones? Top Taliban official says they want 2 American detainees released as soon as possible. The Trump administration says a third one should be included. Fashion, not interested. Excuse me. People enjoying the snow. Gunman kills 11 after soccer match in Mexico. The shooting occurred in an area contested by drug cartels just as Mexican government sought to show Washington that it's combating criminal groups. Well, that didn't go well, did it? My condolences, of course. In Venezuela, families search for those who are detained and missing. So one story coming out of Venezuela, guys, is some political prisoners have been released. In Venezuela, some political prisoners have been released. The numbers could increase, possibly. I've got a short video dropping in the next couple of days on YouTube about that. So it might be something I might cover. I may even cover it as a Rumble piece, possibly. I know normally I cover Middle East stories on Rumble, but I might actually cover it as a separate piece on Rumble to talk about Venezuela and the political prisoners and how significant that could be in terms of politics there for the South American nation. At least 18 dead. Yeah, the Philippines sank there. 24 people were still missing after the vessel sank early Monday morning there. Those are some of the stories there from the New York Times. Let's have a look and see what African news is saying today, guys. Let's have a look at that part of the world here. I'm just going to refresh it just to see what they say here. 1 second. It says here, Venezuela's had enough of orders from Washington, says the interim leader, Rodriguez. Okay. US, Nigeria diverge over details over strike on militias there. US, I just read that. Goma 1 year on, entrepreneurs rebuild after M23 takeover. Just looking at stories on the right-hand side of the screen if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Tie but resolve, Minnesotans protest after second fatal ice shooting. SADC team joins Mozambique's flood rescue efforts. So more than 500,000 people have suffered as a result of the flooding. Loads of people are unaccounted for in the terrible flooding in Mozambique. I do have a short story coming out on Wednesday about that. Wednesday short video about that. Obviously, I thought of thoughts and prayers for everyone who's suffering right now in Mozambique with the horrible flooding there. Goma 1 year on, entrepreneurs rebuild after M23 takeover. Yeah, I just literally said that, didn't I? Families bid farewell to school children in South Africa killed in a school bus crash. Absolutely terrible. My condolences there. Egypt's FM welcomes US envoy for talks in Cairo on boosting bilateral cooperation. Women main victims of Sudan's crisis as sexual violence used as weapons of war. This is still happening in Sudan. I've spoken about this before. This is still happening in Sudan, and still no one's taking care of this. Not taking care of this. Not taking action on this. Apologies. Protesters in Johannesburg call on the US to release Venezuela's Morado. Well, they're not going to listen to them, are they? We are out of time, guys. So I'll just have a quick look at the Kiev Independent before we go. Just have a quick refresh here. The security guarantees, we touched on that already. EU gives final approval to ban on Russian gas by 2027. Russia continues to attempt to breakthrough new process, bringing up reserves. French Navy boards Russian shadow fleet oil tank in the Mediterranean Sea captain details. Yeah, we will not tolerate any violation of Emmanuel Macron says we are determined to uphold international law and ensure the effective enforcement of sanctions. We need to see more of that, not just from France, but other European nations. Ukrainian drone strikes our oil refinery in Russia there as well. Meets for the first time. Zelensky, Belarusian's opposition leader, meets for the first time. Ukrainian parliamentarians killed in a quad bike accident. 15% of Kiev residential buildings remain without heat of the Russian attacks, Mayor Klitschko has said there. 8% of Ukraine faces emergency power cuts. 15% of Kiev residentials remain without heat after Russian attack. Yeah, extreme weather grips the Ukrainian front lines. Yeah. Zelensky says Lukashenko's dog has more rights than the Belarusians as he visits Lulu. That is true. That is true. They don't have any rights in Belarus. At least 1 killed and 9 injured in Russian attacks over Ukraine over the past day. General Staff reports that Russia has lost 1.2 million troops in Ukraine since the start of the war there as well. This is what the stories are from the Kiev Independent for reference there. Sarah Davis, good to see you there. I hope you are doing well. So, guys, and like I said, we only go for an hour long here, so we've gone over an hour. Thank you guys all for coming. Thank you guys for all your comments. Like I said, I'll be back live again at 8 o'clock tonight with another Viewpoint show. We'll be diving into some of the stories in the UK. So, if you guys want to join me for that, feel free to do so as well. A video will be dropping right now on both Rumble and Patreon, free to watch. Dropping right now at 12 o'clock if you guys want to see content like that. I recorded that on Saturday, but I'll be recording Rumble and Patreon content for the rest of the week today, and I'll put that out. I'll put a post up saying what content's going to be coming up for you guys on Rumble and Patreon for the week on the community post. So keep an eye on the communities tab there for me if you can. Like I said, I'll keep you guys updated with the demonetization appeal, and whenever I get a response, I'll let you guys know as well. Just again, a quick reminder, guys, do check out Bin Podcast next time they go live on their YouTube channel. Give them a check them out. Mikey fans, really good guy. I'm looking forward to having him back in on the round table next month as well. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And of course, Dave McGuinness of the Two Davies, he'll be going live later on today at 4 o'clock. So if you can join them for that, feel free to do so. Appreciate everyone all coming in again. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, whatever you guys have got planned. But on your way out for me, if you can, please hit that like button, share it across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. Check the coffee Reganelite. Oh, thank you, Viper Scott, for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Appreciate anyone who buys me a coffee. Thank you so much. I will respond to that. Thank you, my friend. And do check out all the links down below. We also have a free Discord community you can also check out as well. So if you can do all those things, I'd be greatly appreciated. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.